Oh boy, it's that time of the year again, when I get in heaps of trouble for stating the truth about the latest crap game. Hello there, my name is Mirza, and you already know what this is. It's time for me to grovel back to the best bad games on the planet, play Sonic Superstars, and give it the honest review. So, first, let's dig in with some gameplay. The game begins with not playing the game. For whatever reason, despite me buying this game from Steam, Sonic Superstars requires you to sign in to Epic Games in order to play the game. Stupid. After about 10 minutes of fiddling with the online store no one likes, I got in and started tweaking with the settings.
Is it like tinier on your end or something?
I don't know because everything is already so bad. Oh yeah, graphics quality. There's the graphics.
There's fucking nothing. Does it say what the anti-aliasing is? It's probably FX, those lazy fuckers. Whoa.
Nope, it's just
Depth of field. Here, let's take a guess that depth of field would look like dog shit in this game.
After that, we actually head into the game. It begins with a nice looking cutscene made by our old reliable Sonic man, Tyson Hess. Afterwards, we are introduced to our main characters. We are then dropped into not Green Hill Zone.
Please turn the depth of field off. It looks so fucking bad. I don't care if you have to restart the cutscene. It is the worst fucking thing I've seen.
Return to world
It
map.
makes the 3D background look 2D.
We bounce up and down for a bit before discovering a big ring, and enter a special stage. And after being confused for a bit, we grab the Chaos Emerald and unlock our first ability. Avatar. This ability projects a bunch of characters on screen to deal damage to bosses or enemies, collect rings or shields. We run around for a bit more and then enter a blue ring to collect medals. Although my first impression was that the medals were similar to the original system from Mania, it is instead used to purchase cosmetics from your customizable character later. I'll touch on that later. After that scuffle, we approach the boss where we have to outrun this whale thing. Great boss design. Heading into Act 2, we collect a speed up power, proceed to get launched into a blue ring, and that. We bounce around a bit more, break a loop by running around it a bunch, and then reach the boss. Eggman has brought the boss from Palm Tree Panic back from Sonic CD, but is now fitted with throwing our things. Using the Sonic spam, we weaken the boss down, and then finish him off in what seems to be a second stage. I don't know. After Eggman runs off, we open the capsule in what seems to now have a Counter-Strike case gambling thing built in. Amazing design. Going to the next zone, we arrive at the generic jungle zone and go all over the place. What exactly do you want me to say about this? We ride lots of vines, head through lots of what looks like Stardust Speedway Pass, and eventually enter the boss area. Eggman is locking a fat animal into a robot. They attack us. After every hit, we move on to the next phase where it eventually gets harder and harder until phase 3 ends it. Hitting the goalpost, we move into Act... Sonic? What? In Sonic Superstars, there are special extra acts for using select characters, it seems. And in this stage, it's Sonic. Unlike Mania, however, these are not regular acts, instead extra acts between Act 1 and Act 2. Why? Anyways, we collect the second Chaos Emerald and get our second power, the bullet. It's useful, I think. Heading into the second act, we now have everyone's favorite mechanic from Sandopolis Act 2, blindness. Why is this back? Another mechanic that I forgot to mention that is introduced in both acts is this vine thing. On the walls, you grab onto it and it flings you at a 45-degree angle upwards. And when it's floating, it will fling you upwards. Expect lots of mechanics like this in later levels. Oh yeah, and there's also this guy. Heading into the boss, Dr. Eggman is in a swinging metal thing, and we eventually have to get him to hit himself with his own grabber arms, then eventually launching his missiles back at him and to win the fight. Heading to the next zone, we have Sky Temple. Not really sure what the theme is supposed to be going on here, but everything looks like the hardened clay blocks from Minecraft. A lot of mechanics involve floating, and with that we float into our third Chaos Emerald and unlock our third power. Vision? Vision lets us see invisible items and use them to access door openers or platforms. Immediately after that, we leave the special stage and we are introduced to a new mechanic that seems to be taking inspiration from Breakout. Interesting. And then afterwards, the strange block mechanic that slowly retracts when you aren't standing on it. After traversing across a weird floating section, we enter the boss arena. Eggman has a few stages for us to deal with. First, he breaks the floor and we enter a free fall and we have to avoid his spikes. Then, he breaks the floor. Again. We have to travel up the platform quickly and hit him. Rinse and repeat a few times and we win. We then head into our next zone, not Carnival Night, or Casino Night, whichever one you want to mention more. There's a new mechanic in the zone involving these wheels. When you grab on, they'll spin you around until you launch off. After lots of bouncing around, we enter the boss arena and face the mini-boss. This weird clown thing. In order to hit it, we have to toggle all of these coins and wait for him to flip upside down and hit him. Do this a few times and we win. Heading into Act 2, we get to experience the generic Mario platform rider and travel through the level without much else new. We then head out into the boss, where Eggman has spinning ring things. After he throws bombs at us, we then must use them to launch back at him, and we win the fight. Heading into the next zone, we have the water level. There's lots of water. There are water jets that will spray you up in a certain direction, and water spouts that will throw you upwards. I wonder where they got that mechanic from. Heading into the mini-boss, we fight a weird jellyfish for a bit before hitting the sign post and heading into the next act. Except, surprise, now we have Act... Amy? Okay. We now get to play as Amy, and literally nothing has changed other than the new level arrangement and the ability to smash fruits. Amazing. Heading into the actual Act 2, which is more or less the same as Act 1, we capture our 4th Chaos Emerald and unlock the amazing power of water. Wow. Heading into the boss, we have to travel up this tower to hit Eggman. After a few more hits, we defeat Eggman and complete the zone. But that is where I drew the line and quit the game. So, I know the first complaint is going to be, you didn't play the full game, you only played the first 5 zones. If you didn't get to the part where it gets good, how are you supposed to make a review? And my response to that is, if it takes you 2 hours and 6 zones to start having fun in this awful game, that is a major issue with the game itself. That's one of the biggest problems with this game. It just isn't fun. In fact, I had more fun saying dumb stuff with my friends in VC while I was playing.
Arthur, where's the woman?
Ramen.
Sir, we're supposed to deliver her alive. Ramen.
It just sounds ramen.
He just holds up a thing of ramen. He just points to it, it's like, ramen. Morgan. What the?
Morgan to Morgan.
We don't need a woman. We can make our own law agency.
But let's give this game the compliments it deserves, and is only fair. It plays pretty stable, which is both surprising and unsurprising. Surprising, seeing how Sonic Frontiers played pretty poor, and unsurprising because if a 2.5D platformer played poorly on my RTX 4080, or what is the RX 7900 XT for the intelligent ones, that would be horrific. But fortunately, that's where the compliments for this game end. Now onto the key points about why it sucks. Number 1, the music in this game sucks. I don't know who's been in charge of the music direction at Sega over the past 2 years, but they need to be strangled and perhaps fired. Because this OST is hot dog water. This is, along with Frontiers, absolute trash compared to Mania, Generations, and even Forces OSTs. Number 2, the game looks really, really bad. If you asked me what year this game came out on, I'd wholeheartedly say it came out on the Xbox 360 in 2009. Why did the textures look this bad in the year 2023? It's not as if consoles can't handle high-res textures, even the Nintendo Switch and the devastation that is the Xbox Series S can handle moderately good graphics. And yet we are stuck in this blurry, distorted nightmare. I genuinely would not be surprised if it came out these were reused assets from an early beta of Generations or Unleashed. Number 3. The characters in this game control horridly, and by horridly I mean it makes me feel like I'm playing Forces again. Oh yes, it's that bad. Stuff like the spin dash, which has long been known for its quick mashable use, can only be charged once like in the Sonic 2 betas. Why? Momentum? What's that? I swear, most of the time, this makes me feel like I'm playing Sonic 4, and that leads into the next point. Number 4, the price. This game, this half-baked 2D platformer online required to play game, costs $60 whole. There is absolutely no excuse for this game to cost so much when the game itself can be beat in less than 5 hours and has absolutely no justification for repeating itself multiple times. For the price of this game, you can not only buy Sonic Mania, but you can also buy Sonic 4 Episodes 1 and 2, as well as pirate Sonic 3 and play the true Sonic game, Sonic 3 Air, because paying for Sonic Origins is the worst thing you can ever do to your money. Number 5. Didn't I mention it forces you to play online? Well, it does. And not just that, it forces you to install and sign in to Epic Games. Because everyone loves Epic Games, right? You know, the guys that have been making some of the worst exclusivity deals the world has ever seen, ruining their one good game and being the second most annoying launcher out there, only bested by EA Origin. Those guys. Number 6, the animations in this game are just bad, whether it be Sonic's quills and ears going absolutely wild in the air or in special stages, to Sonic having a single animation frame when he gets hurt. The animations in this game are guaranteed to make you go, huh? Number 7, as stated before, this game is not fun. I have had more fun grinding in the Minecraft 100 Day videos, and the only thing I felt during this time I spent playing this game was just raw depression. Depression that this is what has become what the franchise I once cherished, and have seen now decay to this horrid state. Number 8, the special stages are trash. There are only 3 acceptable types of special stages when you're designing a Sonic game: half-pipe, blue spears, and UFOs. Those from Mania. Any other attempts to tweak the classic formula are completely unacceptable and must be criticized, and especially this one. This special stage sucks. You can't tell when you're going to be able to grab onto things, or whether you're too high or too low to grab onto the emerald. Sometimes you won't be able to grab onto things at all, despite being close enough too. And sometimes you just really don't know what on earth you're doing. And number 9, reusing or throwing away legacy ideas. A lot of this game's UI and sound effects come straight from Sonic Mania. Although the medal system is reincorporated back from Mania, it comes at the cost of ultimately removing the live system like in Origins. Why? No one liked this feature in Origins, so why make it standard in Superstars? On top of that, the only use for the medals comes in the form of buying these cosmetics for your customizable character. I don't know why Sega has this insistence that having customizable characters in a Sonic game is a good idea after all the memes that came out of Forces, but yet they still return and serve as the only purpose for getting these medals. In Mania, these medals served as a nice way to unlock content by completing Blue Spheres levels. These can range from unlocking extra moves for the characters to special game modes like Mean Bean Machine and the Knuckles mode, or just straight up unlocking the debug menu, but yet in Superstars this serves literally no purpose for most people. In conclusion, Sonic Superstars is fundamentally and creatively bankrupt, and it is exactly what I predicted would happen in the wake of Frontiers. But before I end this video, let me lead you into a conspiracy theory that I've been brewing for the past few months, even before Superstars' reveal back in June. The theory goes that Superstars wasn't just whipped up right before the reveal, but rather that it is a collection of Sonic games waiting to be released, all of similar quality, and that Frontiers was one of them. Let me elaborate further. Frontiers was a massive test by Sega to see if they could get away with not having to make good games. This isn't exclusive to them, as it seems the entire AAA industry is like this. Sega is going with a different tactic. Instead of gaslighting fans into believing that the games are good and that anyone criticizing them is a hater and hasn't played the games like they have, Sega is going with the tactic of drying up their fans. First, they released Lost World in 2014, which got a mixed response, but was generally fine. Then they released the Sonic Boom games, which were terribly rated, but they got away with the excuse that they were made by a different company. Then they put out Forces in 2017, and that game was rated negatively. So Sega entered the waiting period. 5 years came by, and Sega released Sonic Frontiers to massive acclaim, despite having a similar level of quality to Forces. It was a success. The drought had worked, and now fans were willing to accept this garbage. And the few of them that had doubts about this were either exiled into the pit, that is, the Steam Clown Awards, or they gassed themselves into thinking that Frontiers, despite their deepest thoughts, was a good game, and that they were just wrong. Sega managed to get away with lowering their bar so much, but now the dust has settled, and people have had a moment to think about Sonic Frontiers, especially in the wake of the Final Horizon update, and will especially have a moment to think about it with the upcoming Super Mario Wonder, which will probably be releasing by the time this video is published. It's quickly coming down for Sega yet again. Currently, Sonic Superstars sits at a 66% positive review rating on Steam, and continues to go down slowly. It's clear that although Sega's scheme has worked for a bit, it cannot hold for much longer, and I reckon by the time the next pre-cooked game is released, it will collapse fully. But until then, we can only wait. Maybe another 5 years for them to release another half-baked game that, despite everything, gets roasted upon release for being a piece of trash that lied about promises. Oh well. And with that, I finally end this video. And before I do, I have an announcement. I'm posting on Rumble now. Since YouTube is quickly going down the doo-doo hole, I figured it'd be smart to make a backup place for me to post it to as well, just in case YouTube collapses faster than Sega's reputation. I've already uploaded a few of my videos there, so if you can navigate through the political climate that is gathered there, unfortunately, you'll be able to find these videos free from garbage like this. And with that, I finally end this video, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in 5 years!